So I wanted to talk to you about things you want to start thinking about while you're in inpatient rehab. Just get a jump in the gun, so to speak, because when you come home out of rehab, you'll probably, I hate to say this, but you'll probably be handicapped to some level. And eventually, I hope you come out of it, like you recover some more. But until then, might as well make life as easy as possible by applying for some things early. If you're a Pennsylvania resident, I'm going to gear it towards that. I'm sure there's other examples. If you're from another state, still listen closely, because you might have these same services just under a separate name. So the first thing I would apply for, well, the first thing I'd say is, if you can get them to do anything, get your social worker to provide you with some forms, do some mailings, all that. In my experience, social workers are kind of a waste. They just like to talk and act like they're doing something, but I'm not seeing a whole lot on my end, but give it a try. So the first thing I'd apply for sure, is I use Pennsylvania's public transportation called SEPTA. I use their paratransit system, which is called CCT. Great service. I'll do a video on it sometime. It picks me up, delivers me door to door for like $4. In your state, you might have a similar thing, because I believe, and I could be wrong here, but I believe nationally, public transportation services are supposed to provide something like that. The other thing I want to start looking into, if you had a stroke and you're in inpatient rehab, is start researching local physiatrists. If you live, that's physiatrists, not psychologists. Maybe that's needed too. I'm talking about physiatrists, which is like a rehab doctor. Ask your inpatient rehab about, an outpatient physiatrist. If you don't live in the area of your rehab, start researching ones in your area, and make sure you get someone who specializes in stroke. A lot of people will say they specialize in stroke, but they won't. They've just had the training, because they're physical therapists trained for bones and breaks. Oh, hang on. Trained for bones and breaks and all that stuff, but not specifically stroke. So if you can get a physiatrist through rehab, they will definitely be a stroke doctor. The other thing is, I would begin asking early and often about the various electronic products, like electronic muscle stimulation, all that, because those devices can get seemingly not working muscles working again. So I would ask about that. Also, there's another service called OVR. And damn if I forget what that is, but OVR is like an occupational health and services. They help sit in your corner and sometimes even pay for occupational training, like driving and devices you might need. Make sure you reach out to them. I don't know what to call in your area, but you might have an advocate like that you don't even know about. So begin asking about that. I would say a neurologist you'll probably need. So start researching it. You might not need one forever, but while you're in the rehab, once you have your release date, I would definitely see one, but see what your doctor says. As with all these recommendations, make sure your doctor's okay with it. If you want to join groups like other peers that have a stroke, if you're under 60, I belong to a group called YESS, Y-E-S-S. They are young stroke survivors. It's a great group. Try to get into one that fits your needs, and you might be able to get some insight on treatments, what they do, how they feel, makes their life easier, all that. And lastly, definitely get in touch with your local DMV about handicap tags. Whether you're driving or someone else is driving, they'll need the handicap tag for your car. And for me, I mean, we just hang it off the mirror. It's very simple. But make sure you start to process those applications. Like for SEPTA, I did, the DMV, all that. It can take you weeks just to get the form and numerous follow-up calls. So I would start doing that for sure while you're in the rehab. Hopefully down the road I'll make more detailed videos on these, but in the meantime, gives you some food for thought. Thank you.